The cow is arguably one of the best selling points for many farming games. I mean, come on! How could it not when they look like that? Admittedly, the Stardew cow does leave a bit to be desired, but my love for cows prevails. And so yes, I do want to exploit that love. Love comes at a cost, and this is just that price. Luckily for me, that price will hopefully net me millions. So in this case, I think the ends justify the means. So let's build my empire of cow exploitation. Ethical exploitation, of course, don't get it twisted. I've learned from my past animal empires, always start with the Meadowlands farm. The bluegrass is just too powerful to ignore, and let's face it, while the grass might literally look greener on the other side, it really isn't. Well, like I said, technically yes, it would technically be greener on the other side. My point still stands, because it would be nice to have some hardwood stumps to chop down, since I will be needing hardwood to craft my future cheese presses. But I don't want to get too ahead of myself here, because I won't be crafting any of those for quite some time. Unfortunately, I am not able to boot up the game into the life of a Nepo baby, at least to some degree, because I did inherit this farm after all, and that counts for something. So instead of having a safety net of millions to fall back on, I must forge my own path through this world. A cow-filled path, which is exactly why I named my farm Moo Meadows, in memory of Moo Moo Meadows, which, now that I say that out loud, does make it sound like Moo Moo Meadows does not exist anymore. And it does. Well, I think it does. Don't quite quote me on that. I haven't played Mario Kart on the Switch 2 because that would require a Switch 2, and I too was not born as a Nepo baby, so I have not been magically gifted one by my parent-appointed fairy godmother. And yes, I do have to point out the fact I couldn't fit the whole Moo Moo into the name. I guess I didn't have the funds to buy more characters for my farm name. Another downside of being born extraordinary. Anyway, yes, I do have 2 chickens. What am I supposed to do with them? Wait, you know what? Never mind. I'll milk them for their experience. Problem solved. For now. I took to foraging because there was not much else I really could do. With no fishing rod or free parsnips, I really started out at a disadvantage. Just ignore the bluegrass, and that logic totally makes sense. Inspired by said bluegrass, I headed over to some blue water to fish. And well, fish I did. I had to take a stab at some catfishing, but admittedly, I am a bit rusty. Or that's what I tell myself, because I don't want to talk about how many catfish escaped my clutches. It's an outrage, and I only have myself to blame, which just makes it worse in my opinion. But I did manage to get 2 catfish, so that does count for something. Or, well, maybe it counts for exactly 2 catfish. I did go on ahead and unlock the bridge at the ocean for some access to those premium shells. I have to say, Pelican Town was in shambles before I came. Let's not even mention the absolute hazardous state of the community center. In all honesty, it should have been condemned, had on multiple broken bridges, and I'm left to wonder if maybe having Joja come in might make this place habitable, and that doesn't seem quite so bad. Honestly though, I feel like the more times you play the game, the less bad Joja looks, but that also could just be me. Surprisingly, I did get an early cat delivery, so I did go on ahead and name my cat Blue, after one of the best cheeses of all time. Blue cheese, of course. And no, I will not be taking any opinions on whether or not blue cheese is good, because straight up, I know it is. To celebrate my cat's arrival, I headed on over to the mines. And you have to keep me in your thoughts and prayers because I did run out of energy on floor 14. So close, yet not close enough. But enough mining for the time being. I need to get my head in the game and do some mandatory and obligatory fishing. Everyone, be proud of me because I caught a whopping 1 catfish. If there's one thing you can remember me by, let it be my 1 catfish haul. I then proceeded to ignore what I said earlier and was straight back in the mines. But I got an ancient seed, so all is forgiven. But I did run out of energy on floor 18, so maybe I should have listened to my earlier intuition, but then again, maybe I should have just planned better. You know what? It's actually those pesky parsnips. If I had just had 15 starter parsnips, I would have never been in this mess. And no, I'm not here to blame Concerned Ape. Oh no, it's quite the opposite. I am fully blaming Lewis here. He could have installed an auto feeder and then left me with some parsnip. But no, he gave me some crusty dusty hay he probably had lying around from Marnie. In any case, don't forget to pet your cat or dog, or really any of your pets as long as it's not a turtle. Yeah, I said what I said. Back to the fishing grind it was for me. Like I said, I was out of practice, sue me. I did take an intermission to catch an eel. It was my first cast of the day at the beach, so maybe I'm not so rusty after all. Then it was back to some trusty catfish fishing. I did get back to the mines the next day though. In my defense, I did have to redeem myself. And redeem I did, since I did get to level 30. And yes, I almost forgot to give Blue a good pat on the head. Unacceptable. Honestly, I don't know how I sleep so well at night knowing I was so close to being a terrible human being. You better believe I made sure to pet and water my cat the next day. And to stay on the theme of water, I did some ocean fishing. Willie, please get out of here. Stop stealing my fish. We have a history, you and I. You are always out here conning me out of something. Usually, it's seaweed. But I see you're more bold today and had the audacity to snag a fish. Well, shame on you. You Willie shouldn't have done that. And I Willie shouldn't have made a pun out of it either. But I at least finally reached level 5 fishing. It did take long enough, if I do say so myself. My decision to hit up the mines was yet again questionable, because what do you mean I had 3 infested floors in a row? 1 is fine, 2 is alarming, 3 is a straight up problem, a personal attack on me and my family. Not only is the town crumbling everywhere, literally, there are rocks falling, but the place is also infested with monsters. And a fairy. Don't forget about the fairy, because she sure didn't forget about me and did go on to bless some of my crops. Of course, I had to boil the competition at the egg hunt. I contemplated not doing it because I would lose a whole day of work, but the innate need, the hunger to win was just too strong to resist. While I was here, I did go ahead and buy a few strawberries, and then please hold for a brief moment while I decimate some children. And Abigail and Sam. Some people make it sound like you're only hunting against kids, and that's just not true. See, you shouldn't feel bad for participating. Instead, shame Lewis for not having 2 separate egg hunts like any practical mayor would do, one for adults and one for kids. But Stardew also does have a population problem, but at least it would be fair. When in doubt, blame either Lewis or Pierre, and 99% of the time, it will be justified. And then we just don't talk about the other 1%. And then I did go on to do some fishing intermixed with salmonberry hunting. I want to get my forage level up, so salmonberry hunting is non-negotiable. I mean, for me, it's always a non-negotiable since these hands were made for swiping salmon berries. I did take a break to do some fishing though, and it was good I did because I did have some ideas to sleep on. A woman knows best, I guess. Or honestly, my cat knows best. I mean, he was the one supervising me this day, after all. And he's a cat. I mean, he just loves to fish, so I had to listen to him. Although, I do think I could have tricked him into thinking that the salmon berries are in fact made of salmon. Speaking of salmon, I did continue my salmon berry hunt. It did have to stop for the rain because it was time. It was time to use my catfish bait and, oh, I need a fiberglass rod? Hold for a moment while I go buy one from Willie. Now it's time to fish. I did contemplate forking over the money for a fish smoker, but I have trust in the power of the cows, so I will hold off for now because one fish smoker recipe is almost double the price of one barn, so I need to keep my priorities straight. And holding off doesn't seem too bad when you bring in 26 catfish and 10k profits. My other cat felt left out, so she did go on to supervise my Demetrius visit. She forced me to choose bats. And then she forced me to gather up supplies for my first barn. I feel like this is all just happening so fast. I chop trees here, I chop trees there, and then pause please while I fuel up on some salads. With the help of these almighty salads, I was able to will myself to chop enough trees for a barn. Because of how long that took, maybe today wasn't the day, but it will be tomorrow. Mark my words. And the 19th was exactly that. The day. A day. Barn day. I headed over to Robin's with my supplies and forced her to build me a barn. My empire starts now. Or in 3 business days because, well, Robin's gotta build the barn first. So in the meantime, you could mostly find me in the mines. But as soon as Robin was done, I was ready. I headed on over to the river to do some catfishing, but then I realized it's raining, and you know what rain on a Monday means? Marnie is in office for once. Mother Nature had my back. What a woman. So I went on ahead and bought my first cows. Please ignore their names. I cannot stress this enough. You just have to ignore their names. I was aggressive with the all caps, and I just didn't know what was going on in my mind to name them that. I was just so excited to have cows. I malfunctioned. But I didn't malfunction when I went back to fish, as I was able to get 31 catfish this time. Look how beautiful my cows are. What good little burger bodies they are. Cheese vessels might actually be a better descriptor now that I think about it. While I didn't ignore the egg fest, I did go on to ignore the flower dance. I am a mere farmer over here trying to chop down the mess my grandpa left me. Granted, I don't plan to stay a mere humble farmer for long, but the town, they don't need to know that. So I will stay behind. And just like that, it was time to build another barn, even before my first set of cows could even grow up. To celebrate, I picked up my upgraded axe and hit the secret woods. I was able to reach level 5 farming at the end of the day, so I am closer to unlocking the cheese press. Any day now, I can just feel it. And then I finally came to my senses. I couldn't handle it anymore, so I did go on ahead and rename all my cows. I just couldn't let my cows live on with a name not even a mother could love, because I was questioning my love for them, okay? And they must have felt my love because shortly after, they were all finally grown up. So I milked my first cows. Of course, I saved the milk for safekeeping since the cheese press still eludes my clutches. And not by choice. So on the last day of spring, my second barn was done. But just when Robin thought she could rest, I came knocking at her door, forcing her to build me a silo. You'll regret ever welcoming me to this town, Robin, because you will not get a day off as long as I'm here. Even when you're technically off the clock, I will be here. In your thoughts, in your dreams, haunting you. Anyway, in lighter news, I did buy 4 more cows, so I now have 8. And let me say, I feel like I'm off to a great start with some cows in spring. Let's hope this pace continues and then continues to just keep picking up. A girl can dream. Of course, I had to greet my future money makers. They deserve all the pets, and I deserve all the profits. It truly is a mutually beneficial relationship. Ignore the fact I called it exploitation earlier. I was just confused. Since Robin was slow at building my silo, I did spend some time gathering resources. And yeah, mistakes were made. I know to cage up my cows. It makes it so much easier to pet them, but sue me, I forgot. And I paid the price because I was running around like one of my chickens with its head cut off. Eventually, I was able to find the cow in question, and then I proceeded to milk it. The cow, not the situation. Anyway, I then made Robin build me another barn. That's 3 barns so far, and a whole lot more to go. I decided to hit up the mines, but it seems I was the one to get hit and battered because I did in fact die, or come as close to death as Stardew Valley will allow. Linus found me, and then he charged me. Wait, I just had like a light bulb moment. This right here is how the man makes his money. I was wondering how he could pay people for quests, but obviously he uses the money he steals when you pass out. I have to say, I do respect the hustle, Linus, but yeah, you're gonna have to give me my money back, guaranteed. Anyway, I was done with the mines, so I took a little dip in the forbidden spa juice and cut down some trees. I got so distracted the next day, I almost forgot about my wonderful cows. But then, obviously, I came to my senses. And oops, cow 8 is the runt of his brethren because he did not quite grow up so big or strong like the rest of them. But I'll let it slide because I did have ideas to sleep on. And oh, that cheese press is so mine. So, on the Green Rain day, I crafted 11 cheese presses. And now I am resource poor. One moment you have everything in the palm of your hand, and the next it's all gone. But at least I started churning out some cheese. It's such a beautiful sight. Now I just need to be an artisan, and then it will be 40% more beautiful. I catfished in the secret woods because I'll let you in on a little secret that I can share in the secret wood. That's really actually not much of a secret because it is on the wiki, but you can get catfish in summer. I was mind blown when I found out. My life forever changed, and life changed for the better. But I did only manage to get 10 of them, so thank God for my cheese because it did make up for it. And by make up for it, I do mean make 2K for my cheese, which will go right back into fueling my cow empire. So I promptly bought 4 more cows. I tended to the cheese makers to put in some excess milk so that I was able to sell 24 cheeses at the end of the day. 2 of those were gold star quality, so really things are not too shabby around here. I know I said I was a humble farmer not long ago, but they grow up so fast. Okay, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I made the rookie mistake of letting my cows be free range for the day, so I have to scavenge around to find them. I've been practicing at the egg hunt, so I should be good at finding things in theory, at least. To build another barn, I do need more stone, so I did sell my gold star cheese to Pierre just to be safe. Then I bought some stone from Robin and forced her to build me yet another barn. To end the day, I was reminded of that sweet, fresh milk, a feeling I am beginning to be familiar with now. It was a little depressing to go from 24 cheeses to only having the milk to make 8 cheeses, but I will persevere. I made 2K from my cheese. Slow and steady wins the race. I made sure my cows knew I loved them before heading on over to the luau. I did throw in a star quality hot pepper just for my man Lewis, but he failed me. See, another situation to blame Lewis. And he actually does deserve it this time. What do you mean you don't love the soup that has one of your loved gifts in it? I will turn you into cheese one of these days. Just count your days. In less horrifying news, another barn was up and running, so I went running to Marnie's to buy another 4 cows. And not long after that, I was knocking right back at Robin's door for her to build another barn. Robin, you will never get rid of me. And honestly, yes, that is a threat. While I was in the area, I did go on ahead and make it to the bottom of the mines, and all I got was this lousy key. Then I did some resource gathering so I could craft some more cheese presses and have wood at the ready for my future barns. I was a little spooked to have exactly 666, but maybe that was actually a good number in Stardew because it did summon the fairy. My barn was ready to house more cows, but Marnie had her own home closed off to me. Rude. I will remember that. The sins of your lover boy will soon be the sins of you too, Marnie, if you keep at it. So I would check yourself. She didn't get my threat though, so I did continue to resource grind. Finally, after 2 days, I was able to buy 4 more cows. I'm building an empire, a legacy, something way bigger than yourself, Marnie. Respect it. Switching things up, I made Robin upgrade my first barn. Yeah, you heard it here first. My first barn upgrade. Those auto feeders can't get here soon enough, honestly. And upgrades do take one less day than building a new barn does, so it's just like an added bonus. A sweet little treat. I took my tree seeds and started to build a forest at the train station, only I did pick a bad time because Sebastian was a tyrant and tried to foil my plans by walking all over my freshly planted seeds. Have some decency here, Sebastian, please. I really need to stop forgetting to lock away my cows. But whatever, I'll just make Robin upgrade another barn to soften the blow. Then I really spent a lot of time outside building and upgrading barns and buying cows by doing a little bit of resource gathering. My personal forest was slow to grow, but I was able to hit up the mines and literally every inch of this godforsaken land to deprive it of its materials. But look, I did get 5k from my cheese. Instead of having Robin work on a barn, I made her upgrade my house. I might regret this decision, but that's the price I will have to pay for wanting the best for my cheese. You see, gold quality is okay, but it could be better. It could be iridium. And knowing there's that potential, well, a girl's gotta try. On the 24th, I bought 4 more cows, which does put my total at 28 so far. And then I had to buy hay because these cows are greedy and want to be fed every single day, even when it rains. Talk about high maintenance. I mean, my farmer does not eat every day, and she's fine, I think. Anyway, let me right some of the wrongs I have committed. Well, one wrong. I planted some mahogany seeds, and then I left them to grow on their own, but they need to be pumped with chemicals. So I did go on ahead and craft some tree fertilizer. It was about time. The Secret Woods Chop walk was getting a little repetitive. Not that petting my cows every day isn't, but this is about my tree. In my defense, I've never used tree fertilizer in my life. I don't know, I thought they'd be more resource intensive, but I guess not everyone can be perfect. My house is upgraded, so I had to make sure my bed was in the right position. Then I wasted no time getting Robin to build me yet another barn. And turns out tree fertilizer does work, surprise, surprise. And it works quite well, if I say so. So I chopped away and continued to resource gather until the day I could buy 4 more cows. I now have 32, but it won't stay 32 for too long because I was yet again knocking at Robin's door. I did make her upgrade one of my barns, which means I did end off the summer season with 32 cows. I started the season with 8 and quadrupled that. I have a feeling that this pace will not quite continue. I mean, that would be a lot of cows. And quite frankly, I am but one girl petting all these cows by hand. It is a labor of love, and I must say, sometimes I do question that love. But only because I'm not yet an artisan. But I guess there's always fall. Don't you dare even talk to me about the fact it did take till fall to get sprinklers. Do I need them now? No, I will be drowning in cheese soon enough. But before that can happen, I do need to plant my obligatory one rare seed. And these fingers are tired of manually watering. Surely you understand. Some trees were ready in my homegrown forest, so I did take the time to chop them down. I ended the day with a steady 8K cheese profits. To be honest, I don't know how to feel about that because my cows are multiplying at a good rate, but I don't feel like the money is. But I also know what it feels like to build a sheep empire, and so that might also be clouding my judgment here and casting a shadow on these cows. And okay, I'm just gonna say it for 1.7. If you couldn't guess, I would love for Robin and Marnie's to be open 24/7. I know eventually you can kind of work around this, but I want them open 24/7. Pierre's, I can understand him not being open all the time, so it does give some incentive to go to Joja. But Robin and Marnie have no such excuses. Yes, I did almost forget to close the barn doors, but I did catch myself before I could make such a tragic mistake. But don't mistake this. I went ahead and bought 4 more cows and made Robin upgrade another barn. Of course, I did buy some wood before doing so, but then I was able to upgrade as nature intended. Just 2 days later, I was yet again buying 4 more cows. I did have to buy some safety hay. The thought of my cow minions going hungry just isn't palatable to me. A tale as old as time, I had to buy some wood from Robin before another barn upgrade. Even with me chopping more trees down, I just don't seem to have enough wood. Like clockwork, add another 4 cows to the mix, and another barn upgrade. And you better believe I did once again have to buy some more wood before Robin would take me on as a client. I'm slowly building Robin's entire retirement fund as we speak. She won't have to work another day in her life once I'm done with her. And I've got to say, tending to these cows takes so much time. I really need to get my hands on an auto grabber. I mean, with how many cows I'm milking, you think I'd already be level 10 farming, but sadly, that's not the case. And my clicking finger must pay the price for that. And you know what? I have good intuition because I summoned the auto grabber into existence. I had some ideas to sleep on, so you already know what that means. An auto grabber, of course, but also I'm an artisan. I'm about to be fancy. This way of life is just in my blood. I need to fulfill my destiny. Destiny is all, after all. But my destiny was not about only reaching level 10 farming, but level 10 foraging as well. I didn't even realize I reached level 10 foraging till my head hit that pillow. Now, I am a little sad my cheese didn't get the artisan perk that day, but I'll have plenty of time to make up for it. According to Marnie, the auto grabber is a luxury. Doesn't she know I'm an artisan? A fancy one at that? Luxury is quite literally my name. I mean, what do you think the L in L Incorporated stands for? Luxury. Duh. Oof, I think I forgot to feed these cows because they are mad at me. Add an auto feeder to the list of things I need stat. But please have mercy on me, cows. I am but one farmer, and your army is 40 strong. I stand no chance against you and your comrades. Guys, I was so intimidated by them, I totally forgot to buy more cows. I didn't realize it until it was too late, but I did go on to get a heater from the community center. Life is about all these small wins. So you can't really say the day is a total loss because I could actually put the community center heater to good use for once. Okay, I can get used to the sound of 20k gold. I do have to mention that the bar is kind of high because I was making 100k a day from sheep. So cows do have a lot to live up to, but no pressure. No pressure at all. None, no. There's no pressure here. Why would you think that? I did make sure to right my wrongs the next day and buy 4 more cows, which makes my total cow count 48. You know things were right in the world because I also had Robin upgrade another barn, and I didn't even need to buy any new wood for a change. And the 12th is a historic occasion. All my cows are fully grown in barn 1. So get a move on it, Robin. Build faster so I can build my empire faster. You'd think she'd let me slip her some money under the table or do something more practical like force her children into child labor like Pierre, which I want to say, yes, I still consider it child labor since they are their children, even if they are over 18. It's the thought that counts, and so it would be child labor, okay? But can I really blame her? I mean, look at me all ready to go to the mines when I realized I forgot to feed one of my barns, so I had to head on home. You bet I went ahead and bought 4 more cows the next day, so I now have over 50 of them. And on cue, Robin was back upgrading another barn. Eat the blue grass, I swear to God. I scythed all the green grass so you could only have the finest things here in Moo Meadows, but I guess you think it's more like Pooh Meadows, I bet. I mean, it surely does smell like it. I just have to put it out there. You ungrateful cows don't deserve this auto grabber. But I deserve it. So I will spend the gold to further live in luxury. But just know, I'm not happy that these pesky cows are benefiting from it. Marnie was not in office. Rude, I know, but Robin was, so I made her upgrade the last of my current barns. And I'm still making about 20k a day from cheese. Without a doubt, in this forsaken world, I did take my cheese to the Stardew County Fair. Feast your eyes on my deluxe, supreme, premium, high-quality, organic, non-GMO cheese. Look at it. But don't touch it or eat it. Your palate is simply not sophisticated enough for the stuff my cows make. And so it only makes sense I got second place. I mean, a man like Lewis would never be able to recognize the culinary genius of my cheese. I mean, he's got the palate of a toddler. I did manage to get my hands on a star drop though, and yeah, I know a thing or two about fresh milk now. I don't need any reminding. I also don't need any reminding to buy 4 more cows, an auto grabber, and some heaters. This is where things start to get a bit repetitive. I was either petting or milking cows, making cheese, or gathering supplies for more barns. But while I was playing this, I was able to watch a lot of Criminal Minds, so I do think overall it was a win for me. On the 18th, it was finally time. It was time to sacrifice my chickens to the forces of witchcraft and wizardry. I don't know what happens when I sell them, but surely it's not as good of a life as they could have had here. And for that, I can't really be too sorry because they were taking up room and blue grass from my cows. Unfortunately, it was Marnie's birthday, so she wasn't in office. Does she deserve to have her birthday off when she already has other days off? No comment. In the meantime, I did recolor and move my barns so that my high-maintenance cows would be closer to the blue grass. You see what I do for you, cows? Don't disrespect me again, because I can go make you poof like those chickens. While I was there, I did make Robin build me another barn. I also went ahead and gifted Marnie a birthday gift because I do want those purple shorts. Don't ask why. It's not like they're the secret ingredient to my cheese or anything, but you didn't hear it from me. Right on cue, I went ahead and bought 4 more cows, so I now have 60 of them. I also snagged another auto grabber. I mean, hey, why not? And again, the next day, I bought another auto grabber. And then I bought 4 more cows, and I bet you can guess it, I did buy another auto grabber. My funds are dwindling, but I think I can squeeze in another barn, so I fished my cheese out of the bin, sold them and some blackberries to Pierre for good measure, and then I bought some stone and wood to be able to upgrade my barn, all in a day's work. I hate when I have a freshly upgraded barn, but Marnie is nowhere to be seen. She's really killing my vibe. But these auto grabbers are doing the exact opposite. It's so nice to not have to milk all these cows. My fingers rejoice. I'm moving up in the world because now I'm making around 24k from my cheese. Lightning fast, I tended to my cows before adding another 4 cows to the herd. And yes, as recent tradition would require of me, I did buy another auto grabber. To celebrate a fully autonomous milking operation, I handed over my sweet gem berry to Old Master Cannoli. I was filled with thoughts of fresh milk, but my mind really is on cheese. Get with the times, Stardrop. I did add another 4 cows, which does mean I now have 72 cows total, which means all my barns are full. This is as many sheep as I had for my sheep empire, but if there's one thing I learned, cows aren't sheep, so the grind continues. I did preemptively buy another heater and auto grabber before buying even more wood, so Robin would build me yet another barn. In the meantime, I reached level 10 mining. Honestly, it took way too long to reach that level. I was out there putting my life on the line for stones for so many days. Most days I was rewarded with nothing. So I guess I'll take this, and I'll take the 28k cheese profits. The 28th day was a sad day since it was the last day of the year for my cows to eat that precious blue grass. My older cows will tell the younger ones of the tale of the blue grass, but they won't be able to believe it until they can see it next year. I did buy some more hay for winter just to be prepared, and then I went fishing. I'm currently level 8 in both fishing and combat, but I want to reach mastery for a chance at some animal crackers. I mean, it's only fair. It's the right thing to do. I did the same thing for sheep, and that worked out spectacularly for me. I don't know if cows will ever be able to get out of the shadow of sheep, but I sure can try. To end off the fall, some of my cows have 5 hearts, but honestly, not as many of them do as I would have expected, so I would like to give them blue hay, but apparently that's not an option. Winter didn't just start off with cool weather. I mean, take a gander at me and my cool cat. What was even cooler was I was able to reach level 9 fishing, just one more level to go. I did trick myself into thinking Marnie would be in office because of the snow. I mean, she works on Mondays and Tuesdays when it rains, but I should have known better. Snow doesn't count as rain. I knew that because I remember it would never water my powder melon seeds. And yes, that wounds me deeply. So you know what? Add that to my 1.7 wish list. On the 3rd, all my cows were grown up, but I won't let that stand for too long. I went ahead and bought 4 more cows and some more hay for even safer measures. I then forced Robin to upgrade my barn, finishing the day off with some fishing. I added 4 more cows on the 5th, so we're now 80 strong and growing. I continued to fish, and eventually my effort did pay off because the next day I reached level 10. I am now a certified pirate. Pierre, get out of here. Can't you see? I'm a millionaire. I don't have to put up with you, okay? But I will put up some more cows in my barn, so add 4 more to the family. I then took a break from having Robin build barns and instead had her upgrade my house. Then it was time to focus on my combat skills, which is still level 8. I did go on ahead and skip the Festival of the Ice because I did have better things to focus on, like working on my combat. But Linus had other ideas because he had the time on this precious holiday to rob me of 15k. That's outrageous. I'm reporting you to Lewis, Linus, because I will be dead and rotting before I let you get away with that. I will be turned into cow food before I let you get away with stealing 15k. The audacity. And to think I liked you, Linus. Why would you do this to me? Despite that blow to the ego, I did persist, but my level remained the same. So I guess it too persisted at the same level. I was slightly alarmed to find a literal skull outside of Robin's, but I do not feel at liberty to ask questions, so please upgrade my house for a cellar. But that suddenly doesn't seem like that grand of an idea, because what is Robin going to put in my cellar? To be fair, I wasn't much better because I watched the slime fall in love right before my eyes, and then I proceeded to annihilate the slime, its partner, and its newborn slime baby. And the worst part is I didn't even get a new level out of it. I destroyed the slime family, and all I got was emotional pain. Anyway, I did make the mistake of drinking one of my milks. I guess I really wanted those star drop prophecies to come true because I quite literally was filled with fresh milk. I did go on ahead and buy some hay to keep Marnie in business. With my house upgrades, I haven't been able to buy my usual 4 cows every 2 to 3 days, so I just know her business is hurting. I also finished off the craft room because for some reason the need to donate to the community center doesn't stop when you're building a cow empire. And I say that, oh, by the way, look, all my cows are big and strong, they've been drinking their milk. But anyway, as I was saying, I say that about the community center, and then I did just go on ahead and buy the JoJo membership. It's time for me to reach max potential, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. And it seemed the universe was in agreement because the first slime I slayed gave me some ideas to sleep on. I then encountered an infested floor on floor 86, so I kept revisiting it so that I could get that sweet combat experience. The universe aligned even more when my cat gave me some cheese at the end of the day, truly living up to his name. And finally, my cellar was ready. I really hope Robin didn't hide anything down there, like maybe a bone of Sebastian's father, but that's a worry for a different day because look at these casks. I crafted some, totaling 51 casks in total, which does count the ones that I was given from Robin, but I ran out of supplies before I could craft more, so I went to Robin to buy more wood and stone. I had paid her 100k for the cellar, and she purposefully didn't fill the cellar with as many casks as possible so she could get even more money out of me. It was truly an investment on her part. And yes, I did realize I had some stone at home, so I really didn't need to buy any more after all my time working on combat in the mines. But that's how Robin gets you. She planned that. Better she planned something like that than say, I don't know, plotting how to get my skull in the front of her yard. Yeah, I'm clearly still traumatized. But it ended up working out since I didn't have to run home for stone. Instead, I made Robin build me another barn, and then I crafted enough casks so I would have 108 in total, my dream cow number. I then went ahead and paid to repair the bus. I followed that up by placing down all my casks. I only put my gold star cheese in them since it will only take 1 week to get iridium as opposed to the multiple weeks it would take if I put that non-star cheese to achieve the same quality. I continued filling my casks the next day, and I know it's not the optimal placement, but it's okay. It matches my personal optimal cow count. Anyway, I proceeded to pay to have the greenhouse repaired, and then I went back to the regular mines, but I didn't run into any infested floors. Now that I have that bus, I might try out the Skull Caverns. But before I could do that, I did go on ahead and buy the last JoJo waiver for panning, and then I was off to Skull Caverns. I didn't die, but I also didn't get any new levels either, so it is kind of like I did die inside. A winter JoJo finish is truly atmospheric. I said what I said, but enough screen time, Morris. It's time to get back on the combat grind. Only this time, the grind actually grinded me up to a pulp, and I found myself in Harvey's clinic. But I dusted myself off and then proceeded to head straight back to the cavern. Unfortunately, I didn't get a prismatic shard or any new levels. All I got was a near-death experience as well. And let me just say, I was near death and Harvey just kept me there. He didn't give me anything to truly bring me to full health. He's a scammer. But I did make 27k from my cheese, so I'm moving up in the world. Although I could have sworn I did say I made 28k not too long ago, so just ignore that. Up and onward, because I did move myself up to the mountain to make Robin upgrade my barn. I then bought 4 more cows, a heater, and another auto grabber. Oh, and some hay. Then I was back to focusing on combat. This is embarrassing, I did die again. I'm just rusty. So I did go on ahead and make the executive decision to stay in the regular mines and try to farm infested floors instead. On the 19th, I did buy 4 more cows before upgrading my barn once more. Then I was back to the mines, but about halfway through, I realized the bookseller was in town and I had just ignored the poor man. So I scurried on over to buy the Book of Stars, but it was not enough to level me up in combat. So back to the mines it was. Level 87 was an infested floor, but it was kind of a late night find, so I wasn't able to exploit it as much as I would have liked. But hey, it's okay, because I have some ideas to sleep on, and you know what that means! I'm a farming master! And I mean, I really am a farming master because some of my iridium cheeses are ready, and okay, the stack of 64 gives me around 10k more than what gold quality ones would give for the same amount, but then I was right back to the skull caverns because there's no time to rest. I had to work on getting experience to unlock animal crackers. Another batch of my iridium cheese was ready, so I did snatch that up. I went ahead and filled up my freshly upgraded barns, so we are now 96 cows strong. I just need one more barn to get my 108 cows. So Robin, build away please. I made 118k from cheese and 70k of that was from my iridium cheese. You know what? I really could get used to that. The next day I made 38k from my normal cheese, so that is a bit of a startling difference. So yeah, the house grade was definitely worth it. Anyway, my new barn was ready, so I did go on ahead and buy 4 more cows, which does mean I have 100 cows on my farm. I think my farm is a public safety hazard, but Lewis can deal with that if he'd like, but he's probably too lazy. Of course, I did buy another heater and auto grabber, and then I made Robin upgrade my barn only after forking over the money for some more wood though. The Feast of the Winter Star had arrived, but I had every intention of skipping it. Instead, I did head on over to the mines to find the last dwarf scroll I needed, but I found it almost immediately. It could only be one thing, a true Christmas miracle. So I was obligated to attend the feast after that. So, Clint, please take the finest forage from my pockets. I totally planned for this. At least Demetrius gave me a cake because now I get to have my cake and eat it too. But that's not actually true because the feast did delay Robin. She should have been out there working while we were all feasting. I mean, my cows didn't take a day off. I didn't take a day off. Why did you, Robin? What makes you so special? She just knows she has me in the palm of her hand. That's why she can get away with things like this. And maybe that potential murder. Anyway, in happier news, all the cows in my fully upgraded barns are grown up. To celebrate, I did go to Skull Caverns, but you're gonna have to ignore my untimely death. I swear, I meant to die like that. Instead of going back to the mines, I went to the quarry to clear it out and actually got more experience than I was expecting. I really would like to unlock those animal crackers before the new year. I did go on ahead and buy 4 more cows, which does mean I own and am responsible for 104 cows. I'm not going to be able to find anyone to watch them when I go on vacation at this rate, all while I'm actively fueling Robin's vacation fund. Well, I guess that's all about to end since I forced her to do my last barn upgrade. I started bombing up the regular mines, but then decided to shift gears and just go back to Skull Caverns instead. My luck must have been good because it really worked out well for me. I even got a treasure floor with some iridium sprinklers, and now I just need 1k more experience until those golden animal crackers are mine. So to end the winter season, I did a cheese swap in my cellar. Then I tended to all 104 cows. I did attempt to buy some wood from Robin before she inhumanely raised her prices, but oops. She's too busy working on my barn to be behind the counter, I guess. Like I said, Robin, child labor is a thing. Anyway, I did head on over to the Skull Caverns, and again, it must have been a lucky day. I was getting some good iridium, and I even managed to make it past floor 50, all while snagging a new level of understanding, just like I wanted. It's all going according to plan. I could have stayed longer, but I wanted to unlock those animal crackers, so I zoomed on back to the valley and chose Farming Mastery, which means I will dedicate the next spring to hunting down all the animal crackers I can get these little grubby hands on. After a whole year of cows, I made 1.7 million, which I have to admit I was surprised by. That's actually the same amount I made in year 1 with sheep. So it does seem like they are on par with sheep for now, but we'll really put that to the test in spring. My cows are coming along nicely. I do have 104 of them in 9 barns. Just some of them need a lot more pets than others, which is what they will get. I'm just hoping it will be an automated pet. And that is music to my ears as I ended the season off with a hefty 132k profits for my cheeses of various qualities. At the start of the second spring, I tended to my cows in record time, but oof, that price of wood kills me. But good thing I have all the barns I need. Robin thought she could pull a fast one on me, but think again. Robin, you're never building me another barn. Instead, I turned my profits over to Morris. More precisely, to Joja, as I bought 4 auto petters. And this is exactly why I went the Joja route. I know an auto petter doesn't give as much friendship as a manual pet would, but I do have the power of bluegrass on my side. I placed down my auto petters in my first 4 barns and then headed out to fish. I knew with the time left in the day, I probably wouldn't get an animal cracker. Now, having done this whole animal cracker hunt before with my sheep, I know I could unlock golden treasure chests, which do have a higher chance of animal crackers by exactly 2%. But in my experience, I didn't see any big difference between golden chests and regular ones, so I don't think it would be worth my time to just spend the time right now to grind the XP for another level of mastery. I do, however, have the pirate profession, and I will be using treasure bobbers, and so, just like that, I ended the day with 42k cheese profits. With my auto petters handling about half my cows, things were even faster than normal. To speed that up even more, I did go on ahead and buy 2 more auto petters. I then made my way over to Willie's for those treasure bobbers I mentioned earlier. But then I got to the mountain only to realize, oof, I needed an upgraded fishing rod for the bobbers, so I did have to make my way right back to Willie's to buy a new rod. But it must have been a lucky day regardless. I really should check my luck more because I got an ancient seed. And then I was blessed with my first animal cracker, which was then followed up by another ancient seed. Just a typical day of work on Moon Meadows. I mean, what's it to you? The next day, I went ahead and placed the animal cracker on cow 1, the rightful recipient of my first cracker. She's put in the time, she deserves this. Plus, putting it on a veteran cow will mean I'll be guaranteed another gold cheese as opposed to a crusty dusty no quality piece of cheese. I followed this up by adopting my last 4 cows. I accidentally named one the wrong number. I tried to fix this fatal mistake, but I couldn't find cow 109, so I guess that's a problem for another day. I mean, it's time to fish after all, but I came up empty-handed. The opposite could be said about my first barn though, because I was anything but empty-handed with that whopping 1 extra milk. Unfortunately, I did not get an extra animal cracker when fishing. I did get 2 more auto petters though, so that does count for something. I just need 1 more auto petter and then my cows truly will be fully automated. Well, as fully automated as vanilla Stardew will let me get. So you know what, just add that to my 1.7 wish list at this point. Those auto petters must have put some good vibes in the air because I did fish up another animal cracker. Of course, I did go on ahead and place it on cow 2. Let me just say, tending to these cows on a rainy day is my favorite. It's majestic. Even though I don't have to milk or pet them, it does take a little bit of time to gather their milk and place it in the cheese press. To save just the teeniest bit of time, I did go ahead and buy the last auto petter that I needed, so now all 9 barns are fully automated. I brought in 120k profits from those aged cheese. And let me just say, I don't think animal crackers are quite worth it for cows. Now, I've only been searching for like 7 days, but still, when a girl knows, she just knows. We already know my intuition is right. I mean, what can I say? And just like that, all my cows are grown up. I'm so proud of them. Like I said earlier, they really do grow up so fast. Surprisingly, I did manage to snag another animal cracker, and I ended the day with 50k cheese profits. Yeah, I really brought in the cheddar. On day 10, I crafted 81 more casks. I know I said the layout was optimized for me and my 108 cows, but I changed my mind. Sue me. I wasn't quite prepared for animal crackers to be so underwhelming. They're harder to find than I remember, and I kind of feel like you can't really tell a difference with 1 extra cheese here or there. I did give the hunt another go, and I was fortunately able to get another animal cracker, which does mean I managed to fish up 4 of them. And normally I would have taken this as a sign to continue the hunt, but I did involve math, and when math gets involved, all signs are thrown out the window. For cows, that's only an additional 6k a day if the full barn is loaded with animal crackers. And yes, that would be an additional 50k a day if all 108 cows had a cracker to their name. But I'm not even exaggerating, that would take years. I did go on ahead and look back at my sheep empire, and I surprisingly got 24 crackers in the hunt during the second spring. And so I guess I was a little dramatic because that would take a little over a year at that rate, but that was with consistent and persistent hunting. And let me tell you, no one has that strong of willpower to do that for an entire year. But for sheep, that grind does make more sense. An iridium wool guarantees 2 cloths. So if you get double wool, that's 4 cloths, as opposed to just 1 additional cheese per cow. Instead of animal crackers, I think casks are really the way to monopolize on cows, which was why I crafted more casks. Now, I will also say, I know you can also get the multiplayer cabins and upgrade them to get more sellers, but we're not going to dream quite so big over here because I do think our empire is shaping up quite nicely. And with that, I did place my 4th and final animal cracker on cow 4. And I do think this is the perfect opportunity to appreciate all my cows in their glory. They deserve to be looked at, bask in their glory, but keep your nose plugged for your own health. I'm looking out for you. I could finally put all my casks to the test on the 14th, but I lied because I actually had 1 extra one, so that was just plain user error on my part. Right on cue, my iridium hoe was ready on the 21st, which does mean I can reach peak efficiency when hoeing down those casks for my cheese. It did take all day hoeing down, but I was able to place down 189 casks with 189 gold quality cheeses. This time I did get 121k from the iridium cheese for a total of 200k for all my cheeses. Now that's what I like to see. I'm slowly getting less and less on star cheese. Soon, I will just have all gold quality cheeses, but my profits on non-iridium cheese is around 50k a day. Every week now, I'll be able to sell 189 iridium cheeses, which does amount to 120k. Please, stop and listen to the cows. It's music to your ears, isn't it? It's like I can hear the money in the air. Most of my 108 cows do have 5 hearts. The lowest friendship I have is at 3 hearts. In the course of a month, through the power of casks, I was able to reach 3.3 million profits, which means I doubled my money from last year in a month, which I have to admit, that's impressive. I cannot deny that cows are a solid way to go, but at the same time, I also can't deny that they don't move out from under the shadow of the sheep. At this exact time, granted, I did take the time to get 24 animal crackers on 24 of my 72 sheep, I was making around 100k a day from sheep, which is over double the profits of my 108 cows if we're not taking iridium cheese into account. So cows can be profitable, but they don't quite accelerate in profit like sheep do. Like they were very much so on par with sheep in year 1, but once we get to maximizing that profit, sheep really shine. So I guess really the thing to take away from my cow empire is that you shouldn't sleep on sheep. Now, okay, please don't get me wrong. Cows do have their place. Building a cow empire was a lot less grindy than building a sheep empire in the same time. The resources you need for cows are quite basic: wood, stone, and hardwood. But I did need more of them, which meant I did have to spend more of my time tending to them. In any case, I would say cows are probably a better early moneymaker as opposed to a later game one, where I do think sheep really do shine. Not to make this whole thing about sheep again, sorry, my bad. But in cows' defense, they are cute, and I mean, they're cows. You can never go wrong with a cow, or 2, or maybe even 3, or maybe, just maybe, 108 of them. And with that, I want to thank you so much for watching. If you have seen my sheep empire, leave a comment down below on your thoughts. Cows, sheep, what do you think? And while you're at it, subscribe if you like, and stay tuned for similar videos in the future. Bye!